good morning from hot Nanjing. Today we're going to the Sun Yat Sen Mausoleum. So I need to get a subway close to it, and then we go into the scenic mountain area, which should be nice. And then we're going to explore the scenic lake area afterwards, if I survive this heat. But they have Family Mart here, so I'm going in to get a bottle of water for this journey. It's 25 degrees already, it's only 9 o'clock. Look at this lovely park. This guy having a rest in the sun, people fishing. I just got off the metro there. It was only about 10 minutes, 4 stops to get here. Now I have a couple of kilometers walk to get to the mausoleum, but I just wanted to take a little detour into this park because it's on the way. And people are pointing at me, the little kids are pointing at me. I'll give you a tiny little synopsis of Dr. Sun Yat Sen. So he is the founder of the Republic of China. He was the first president elected. He led a group of revolutionaries to overthrow the Qing dynasty, and they led for nearly 300 years. But he led an uprising, a few failed ones, on the way to the successful one. And when they overthrew the Qing dynasty, there was an agreement with another army that the leader of that army would take over as president. So he stepped down and went into exile in Japan. And after the leader of that army died, warlords started to come up again, and it was turning into a feudal society. So he came back and led an army from the south towards the north. But unfortunately for him, he died before he was able to see China unified. He died in the 20s of gallbladder cancer, and his objective was taken over by Chiang Kai-shek. That's a different story though. But the thing about it is Dr. Sun Yat-sen actually wrote the national anthem as well for China at the time. So that's a small little the history itself goes very detailed, and there's a lot of it. It's not just as simple as I described, but I wanted to just give you a little kind of a synopsis of exactly who he was and why he's important in Chinese culture. Because in Taiwan he's known as the father of the country, and in China he's known as the forerunner of the revolution. So there's a bit of a split because the political parties changed, and you know, it gets complicated. But we're on our way up to his mausoleum. It's a very nice walk up. An awful lot of people, as you'd expect. I mean, it is China. There is over 1.3 billion people, so you have to expect a lot of people going to his mausoleum. But there's little shops along the way, little ice cream shops, coffee shops, and McDonald's for some reason. Anyway, let's go to the mausoleum. So I'm 400 meters away from it now, and I've just come to this shopping area. It's crazy. They've got bloody KFC, the same place that I got me bubble tea yesterday. Lawson for some reason. Oh, I saw Lawson already. But everybody's staring at me, and it's not because I have a camera. As a matter of fact, they don't care about that at all. It's just the fact that I'm the only bloody foreigner here. Some guys on motorbikes or little mopeds tried to talk to me, ask me where I'm from, did I want to lift up, and it was free. They're just here on their like holiday. I said no, I'd rather walk. But look, it's just everything here. It's an awful lot of people. I thought by coming this early I'd be one of the, I'm not one of the first, but you know, didn't think it'd be that many people, especially on a, never mind, it's Sunday. Picked the wrong day, I should have came tomorrow. Well, that was a bit of a hassle. I didn't think I could actually get in because when you log on to the WeChat website to book your reservation. You book it the same day before you go in. It wouldn't accept any number, even if I put in a fake Chinese number, it wouldn't accept it. So I was like, oh man. But I went to the information centre and the guy just took my passport and scanned it and gave me a QR code, so it should be okay. I was thinking, geez, did I really waste half an hour getting here? The answer is no, I didn't. It's free to enter, it's just that you need a reservation because of the amount of bloody people. I have a couple of minutes to get to the gate or else the timer changes. I made it through. It was very quick to get through that gate. It's like they just wanted everyone to get through. But now we're coming out to the mausoleum area. There's a lot of people up further. So I don't have to give you any details about Sun Yat Sen while I'm here. I gave you the main story of who he was. That's enough. Now we're just going to explore the actual place. And you can see there's an awful lot of people making their way up to the mausoleum. All the school kids are here even though it's Sunday. You know, like in Japan, I don't know how the school system works in China. If they're in school on a Sunday, maybe they are. Or maybe it's just a group kind of. So I probably did pick the worst day for the amount of people. It's my own fault. I didn't even realise what day it was until a few minutes ago. I thought it was Monday. We're gonna head up, take a look, see how crowded it is up at the main stairs. I'm hoping it's a bit like the Fushimi and Ari, where like after the first few steps people say, nah, that's enough for me. It's not that big, but you know, it might rule out a few old people, I hope. And I'm still the only foreigner here. So we're gonna go through now. So these words at the top, they say Tian Jia Wei Gong. And that means the world belongs to the public. Which is essentially the slogan of Sun Yat Sen. Back to the stairs. Now we begin the stairway to heaven. Well, I might end up in heaven by the time I get to the top. Nice view, isn't it? I wonder what the view is like from the top. Someone's singing over here, I think. Well, about halfway up now. It's not actually that difficult. The steps are pretty kind of low, you know what I mean? You're kind of taking little baby steps to go up. I'll be there in a couple of minutes. You can see the crowds are still have not died down, so my little hypothesis was completely wrong. Made it to the top. Check out the view from here. The view over Nanjing. Well, I've reached the mausoleum, but there's no photography. So I'm heading in now. I'll catch you on. Well, you didn't miss much in the mausoleum itself. The mausoleum in the building, it's very small. It's just one hall with a statue of Sun Yat Sen. You're not allowed to take photos of him, but there's flowers and it's a nice design around the outside and the inside. Oh, just got me 10,000 steps there. Nice. So the walk up was worth it for the view, really. I don't know much about the history apart from what I told you. I know a bit more, but there's no point in me telling you too much because it's useless information to people that are watching. People just want to look at stuff that looks nice, like the mausoleum. So I'm going to head back down and do a little walk around the area underneath. I missed out on a lot. I just came straight up the stairs. So I got myself a bubble tea. I was also going to get an ice cream, but the branch of the bubble tea shop that I went to was like small one, so they didn't have ice cream, so I just got this. They didn't even have medium cups for this. They only had large, but I was planning on getting a large anyway. I can just use that as an excuse for not seeming so greedy. I'm trying not to die while maneuvering along the side of the road. So I'm gonna head down now towards the Scenic Lake area. Now I was there last time I was here. It's absolutely lovely. The only thing is, last time I was here it was raining, so it'd be nice to see it when it's sunny, although it's a bit too warm. But it doesn't matter. I'm not complaining, remember? I say I'm not complaining, but I really am. So, since I'm in Nanjing, it would be a shame if I didn't talk about what happened here many years ago, well, 80 years ago. So, in the Sino-Japanese War, in the late 30s, Japan, after a long battle, had declared victory over Shanghai. And at that time, nationalist China's capital was Nanjing. So they set their sights on Nanjing after that, wanting to claim the whole country. But when they did that, Chiang Kai-shek, who took over from Sun Yat Sen after he died, he was afraid that he would lose all of his military generals, all of his leaders, and himself, I guess. So he ordered a complete evacuation except for the civilians. They were told not to leave. So with the Japanese army approaching, some of the citizens didn't actually stay with those orders. They did flee, but the rest of them were left to the mercy of the Japanese, and my God, was it bad. So the actual event is called the Nanjing Massacre, but it's also known as the Rape of Nanjing because of what the Japanese did. And and if you read about it, I'm telling you, it's, you know, it's often referred to as the forgotten Holocaust, but it's really shocking stuff. So when the Japanese army got here to Nanjing, they really completely destroyed the place. So I think they looted 2/3 of the buildings, burned them down, committed mass rape from infants to elderly. I think it's estimated that there was between 40 and 80,000 women raped, and afterwards they were mutilated, killed, dumped, and the bodies were sitting around the city of Nanjing for months afterwards until the events were finished. So I was just trying to cross the road without dying. And with that, there wasn't only the rape of women and children, that's bad enough, but the Japanese also held killing contests. See how many civilians, surrendered prisoners they could kill in a day. All sorts of torture, beheadings, killing them with bayonets. Oh, it's insane when you read up on it, you know. Really shocking stuff. The Japanese did some really terrible things in war. Of course, the Japanese army at the time had a policy of, if people are deemed inferior to them, then kill them. Which is, I tell you, like, honestly, it's bad enough me telling you, like, the stuff that's going on. I can't even tell you half of it. I'd probably get banned. But honestly, read up on it. It's shocking. It's shocking. There's photos and everything online from everything that went on. But there was not, I don't want to say a positive, because there was no positives of it apart from it ending. But there was a German diplomat here in Nanjing. He was a Nazi diplomat, and he was the ambassador from Germany, and he'd been living in Nanjing. And he was even shocked. He was a Nazi, you know. He was even shocked at what was going on. So because he was an ambassador and a diplomat, he lived in an area that the Japanese were not going to attack. It was a safe zone, because international relations were still important, of course, at the time, you know. And in that safe zone, he brought, I don't know how many thousand, but he saved thousands of Chinese by letting them in there, letting them gather and stay safe from the Japanese. And funny enough, he's nicknamed a couple of things in China, but he's nicknamed the Schindler of Nanjing, and he's also nicknamed the Good Nazi. Now, he did reform after, he denounced his Nazi membership after the war. But yeah, really read up on it. It's fascinating stuff. It's horrible, but it's fascinating. And a lot of the Japanese soldiers that were involved in it, they didn't get punished because it was an order by the Japanese military at the time, the government. So they were just following out their orders. I'm not saying that that makes it right, but I mean, they didn't get punished. They weren't acting out of, you know, out of line with the orders of the military. That was what they were told to do, so they got no punishment for it, which is insane. Now, obviously a lot of them were probably executed after it. I think that was at the mausoleum that I was at yesterday. Remember, there was an execution site from, well, firstly for Communist Party members back in the day, but also for Japanese war criminals. I think that was the place where they did it. But during the whole event of the massacre, they've estimated that about 300,000 people were killed during our massacre. Which is insane, isn't it? 300,000 people, you know, when you think of that, just massacred. I don't know what I've stumbled across here, but it's the entrance to a park, and it looks like they've got some fair going on. Now, of course, it's a Sunday, so it makes sense. I don't know if I can go in without a ticket. It's called the Mountain Scenic Area Park. It's nice though, isn't it? Now, I'm not coming here on purpose. I'm trying to get to the other lake scenic area, but if I have to get a ticket here, I'm not bothered. It's not part of my plan. I've already had enough trouble with tickets this morning. But I just wanted to tell you that little bit about the history of Nanjing with the Japanese, because, like I said, if you're coming to Nanjing, you have to kind of know what happened here, you know. It's absolutely massive part of history, and China's history and world history, really, isn't it? You know, stuff like that it's just bonkers. All these little supermarkets, bookstore, even coffee, and all the old people behind me chilling out, staring at me probably. I'm not looking behind, but I bet you they're looking at me because, you know, here's the foreigner. I've just come across the entrance to Nanjing's museum. I'm not going to go into the museum, but the grounds of it look really nice. Nice and clean. And this lovely building which I want to walk towards. This is basically the reason I actually came in here. It's a nice building, isn't it? Now, if this was in Japan during the Meiji era, that would have been bloody torn down. I know it would. But at least the Chinese never did that, thankfully. Very clean. There's one thing I'll say about China, it is pretty damn clean. There's always people out sweeping, like in their high vis. They're all like older people, but I don't know if it's voluntary or if it's their job. It seems like it's voluntary because they walk along with these, like, the brushes are like twigs, you know, it's like a real old-fashioned kind of thing. But I'm not 100% sure. I've stumbled across a food festival or something. I don't know what half of the stuff is. Got all sorts of things frying. My god. Korean food here, gyoza. pancakes. Octopus. They've got everything. Well, I got fried beef dumplings. Let's try it out. It's very good, and it's packed up. All of them are packed up. I don't know why she gave me 2 skewers. Maybe you're supposed to share this, but no chance. It's good. Quite nice. Unexpected. Another food market here, but I'm not going in. I'm actually stuffed, to be honest. They were packed up and there was 7 of them in it. Or 8 maybe. I think it was 7. And just stuffed. I know those dumplings are filling because the pastry, like, you know. But yeah, that was my lunch. That was just under €2. Insane. Much like the foot traffic here is insane too. So while I'm walking to the park that I want to walk around with the lakes and the little islands, I might as well tell you my next plan, because I decided on it last night. I had no idea where I was going to go. I have a general idea of what region I'm going through, but I just didn't know where I was going to go after Nanjing. So I'm flying again, believe it or not, from Nanjing airport. I know, it shouldn't be flying. It's bad for the environment, but look, the amount of walking I do, I think, cancels out what I would use from transport. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I'm going to take a flight to the historical city of Xi'an. Xi'an is very famous for the terracotta soldiers, if you know them. Those unearthed soldier models. Very historical city as well. A lot of historical buildings and streets, and a historical city wall, much like Nanjing's historical city wall, which I'm going to see when I'm at the park. So that's the little plan for the next leg of the journey, and from there it's easier to get to where I want to go because it's all in the same kind of line. Nanjing is it's a good bit further over on the east coast. I'm nearly at Shanghai, really. Shanghai is where I'll finish in China because I've already booked that flight. So I want to I'll go from Nanjing, go across to Xi'an, down to Kunming, a couple of other places, and then I'll fly probably back to Shanghai and finish up in a few days there, and then head off. And just check out the way some of the streets are done here, right? The trees lining the streets all the way as far as I can see down. They've got these lovely trees on each side. I mean, that rivals something you'd see in a big modern European city, doesn't it? It's lovely, nice to walk down. They provide a bit of shade because, trust me, this heat is something else. No wind. So I'm almost at the Zhuangwu Scenic Area. I haven't been calling these scenic areas because I'm calling them scenic areas. That is actually the name. The Zhuangwu Scenic Area. And funny enough, even though this place, it's a big tourist attraction, you know, there's so many people coming here. It's a Sunday, weather is great. I'm still the only foreigner. Haven't seen one. I don't know, something's going on. Something that I didn't hear about. Now, I'm not too far from the scenic area. We'll get there very soon, or at least to the entranceway, the gateway in. But I'm just coming through a park here. And one thing I've noticed in China, no matter what park you go to, you'll always see groups dancing together and singing. Sometimes to be just a microphone, and they'll just take turns singing. Quite nice. Always, like, I'm in every park. Or else you get loads of old people sitting down and they're playing like a mahjong or Chinese checkers, you know, some kind of a game like that. Yeah, it's a nice little community spirit, if you know what I mean. nice, isn't it? I mean, not just the park, but just the way it's kind of like a community type thing. Just entered the entrance to the scenic area, so if I go straight ahead it'll bring me to one of the islands, and then you can walk between the islands and then cross over to the other side of the lake and walk along. I don't know if that's just a speaker. Oh, it's a guy with a harmonica. Help the heat. Oh. There's these little tour buses you can get around the islands, but who needs them when you're a nice fit young man like me? Nice view, isn't it? Everyone out on their boats. My god, the whole place is just covered in boats, even on the other side. Pink boats. My golly. Anyway, we'll head down to the first island. So there's 3 islands. This first one is a bigger one, the next bridge across, and that's the rose garden. It's too early in the year for roses, I'm pretty sure, but there's other flowers in it too. I want to see if they're in bloom, because everywhere I've been it's supposed to be a nice garden has been a disappointment so far, so maybe this can change that. It's cool, isn't it? Breeze is picking up. That's also helping make it cool. It's very clean. And that's actually a theme park in there, but I think it's closed. Well, the gates are shut, so I'm assuming it's closed, unless they expect people to climb over. Oh, here's the bus again. Let's head into the rose garden. There are roses. Fresh wind, sunshine, birds chirping, flowers blooming. What more could you want, huh? Maybe an ice cream. Haven't found one since I got out of the main park. So I'll have to go up the wall and do the walk on the Nanjing wall tomorrow, because you have to reserve it a day before. Just if it costs like €2, but you have to reserve it just because that's the way they do things in China at these big attractions. Where's this ice cream we need? How are they joking? Oh, maybe it's just me being a wimp, I don't know. It's 30 degrees though. 30 degrees for me is basically like hell's inferno. Wow. Pretty cool, isn't it? Nice little walkway down to the riverside here. Well, found ice cream from Lawson. It's the best I could do. It's the only option I had, and you know, I really wanted some ice cream, so it is what it is. It's nice. Very cold. It's like as if it was over frozen, but in this weather I don't care. Now, I'm not 100% sure who this is, but regardless, it's a nice little statue, isn't it? It's a nice building too. It's a restaurant or cafe. Yeah, it's a cafe, yeah. It's a museum in here, but it's only in Chinese, so it's not much use to me. I'm gonna take a little walk around. I'm on my way out of Scenic Area now. It's very, very nice, especially with the weather today. It makes the place just look that little bit better, doesn't it? You know, if it was miserable and rainy, I wouldn't be enjoying it. Although I wouldn't be suffering either. The wind is picking up, that's kind of a bonus. But anyway, I think I might call it a day on this video. Battery's dying on the camera. I don't have a backup with me. Like with me out. The humour of using the phone for getting too hot. So look, we've walked around a fair bit today, in fairness, haven't we? We saw the mausoleum. We saw the way from the mausoleum to here, the food market here. So I think we'll call it quits on this video. I'll catch you in the next one.